Hello everyone, welcome to DocEngage. This is Jayashree. In this video, I'm going to tell you about labs. Labs is generally to manage the diagnostic center where you can manage the lab test and lab results of the patients. So let me show in this video, I'll show you how to add the lab test and the results. So before showing you how to place the order and store the results, let us see how to configure the lab test first. So if I go into this EMR labs, so here in the configuration, I can see the test category, test component, lab test, and order entry configurations and the upload if you have any bulk data in the your CSV file that also you can upload. So first is test category. So in this test category, we'll be organizing all our test components and the lab test into one particular category. So for example, pathology, radiology, and neurology are the test types. So if I want to add any test category into pathology, I'll select this test type, and then I'll add the test categories like it may be serum test, or if it is any other categories like body tissue test, or if it is a blood test or urine test. Based on your requirement, you can add the categories and save. So all the test categories will be showing here in the list page. So you can see here if you want to edit, you can edit this. Or if you want to delete, you can delete also. If you want to add new one, you can select new one and select the type and test category. So this is how we'll add the test category. Next is components. So in this test component, so we'll be adding each and every test components here. So to add the test components, I'll click on this add test components, from where I'll select the test type. So let us say, for example, I'm adding pathology and category is serum test. So if I want to add component name, let us say I want to create one component for red blood cells count. So red blood cells count. And what is the component code? I can add whatever the component code it is there for this particular uh, test component. So I'll just give on some random. You can give the proper count, proper code. So I'll give like this. And what is the method? What is the test method? So I'll write this test method. So I'll just write CBC. So this is fully based on your requirement, you can add the test types and the methods. So sample type is whatever the sample that we'll collect for this particular test. So it is blood for the red blood counts, cell counts. I'm using sample type is blood. I'm collecting that one. So what is the minimum range and maximum range? So minimum range is 3.7 and maximum range is 5.6. And what is the unit? It is like million cells per ccm. So I'll select the unit. And what is the service cost? So to for this particular lab test component test component which we are adding, what is that service cost? So I'll write the service cost. Let us say it is 100 rupees. Then I'll write 100 rupees. And if I want to write margin price, and if it is inclusive or exclusive of tax, I'll select. If it is exclusive, then I can write the tax. I can give the, if it is inclusive, I can select inclusive and give the tax percentage. And if it is exclusive, I can select and add the tax percent also. And based on that, so this particular service cost will be calculated. If it is inclusive, then if I select percentage, the service cost will be 100 rupees only, retail price. So here we can also add the service code like ICD codes and duration. What is the duration for this particular test component? So I can add this, and the test component is added successfully, and it is showing here in the list page. I can see the range minimum to maximum. What is the range? So I can see the complete method, and these are the few test components which I have already added. And if next one is like this, you can add multiple components by selecting the test type. So if I want to add one more, I can add one more also. like what is the total white blood count. So I can write total white blood count and component code. I'll just give some code, random code. You can give it a proper component code and method CBC and sample type is and blood and what is the range, minimum range. If it is 4,000, I can give 4,000 and maximum range is 11,000 and units, you can select the units, CCM per CCM. So I can give this CCM also. And what is the cost for this 100 rupees and save. It has been added. So component means each in the test components we'll be adding like how we are adding the service catalogs like that. So each test we will be adding separately. And in the lab test, we'll be creating a package of a labs component. So we'll make a package of components into one particular lab test. For that, I'll go and add into this select add test name. So from here again, I'll select test type, and from here I can add the components to make it a package of components to make it a one particular lab test. So here whatever the components I have added, it is showing right now. I have added red blood cells count, it is showing total WBC count, so total white blood cells count. So I can see, let us say I'll add this one. If I want to add one more component, I can use this add component button where I can select one more component. So like this, I can add multiple components into one particular lab. So let us say if I want to add one more, I can add one more. So let us say I want to add all these 5 and then test category serum test and what is the code test code. So I'll just give some test code like a 005009 and test code name as CBC and cost for this CBC, let us say it is 1,000 rupees. I'll write the 1,000 rupees if it is exclusive or inclusive of tax. So I can write complete inclusive of tax and it is CST and CGST and SGST is 99%. I can add that also. So from here I can select the tax and service code. If I want to give service code ICD code, I can add the same ICD code and save. So now lab test has been added and you can see this complete lab test. If I want to edit, I can edit or hide as well. If I edit, same again this page will come and from here I can edit or delete also. So where I can see minimum range, maximum range and what is the units also and save. And next is like order entry configuration. So here we can configure the notifications like for which physician we want to send the notification. So for all these configurations we can configure here. So if I want to notify physician to review patient results before sending, so I can enable this one. So automatically whenever the result has been added or notification will be sent to the providers physician. So notify technician when the pathology order is placed. So whenever a doctor is doing chatting and adding any lab orders, if we select any provider from this list, for that provider, automatically a notification will be sent whenever the order is placed for a pathology. So let us say if I want to select Dr. Prakash, so whenever there is an order, lab order placed for this pathology, then automatically they'll get an notification. Same thing for the radiology also. We can select one provider for whom we want to send the notification. If we want to do any integration with another external labs or a radiology providers, we can use the URL callback URLs for the pathology and radiology. So if it is for the pathology, we'll be adding the URL here, and if it is for radiology, we'll add the URL here and just update. So now it is updated. Next one is lab component upload. If I want to upload the lab test components, which is there in the CSV Excel file, we can download this file from here and modify based on that file and just upload it from here. Choose the file and upload it. So automatically all the whatever the components which are there in the Excel file, it will be uploaded into DocEngage. Next one is like lab print settings. Here you can completely configure your print page. So based on your requirements, you can choose or you can enable or disable the print page details and save. So this is what the configuration, this is how we'll be doing the configuration. So next is like how to add the lab orders and add the results. So to add the pathology order, I'll just click on this add pathology order, or else if I want to add neurology or a radiology, then I can choose the other radiology orders or like that. So I'll add a pathology order from here. I'll search for a patient. So let us say patient name is Sanjana, ID has automatically come and the care center, doctor and the provider name it is showing and date and time it is showing. If I see here, there is a test and the components. These are the components which I have added. So complete components it is showing. And in here in the test, we can see the CBC test which I have added. So if I click on the CBC test, I can see the complete whatever the components I have added here. I can just select the components. If I want to add more components, I can select from the components. I have selected the test CBC, and if I want to add more, so let us say this particular components is not there, so I'll add this component if I want, and one more if I want to add this one, I can add on, one more component also and save. Now order has been placed successfully and I can see the order which I have placed and on the patient name also with the patient ID and the doctor's name. And the status is right now pending. So I have written many notes. I can see the notes and status also. And if once the order is placed, if I click on this actions button, I can edit the order also. I can generate the invoice and I can schedule the sample collections and I can add the data and upload file also. So let us schedule the sample collection now. I want to schedule. So from here I can schedule on which time and date I am going to receive the sample, collect the sample from the patient and the provider name. So and notify, if I want to notify patient and provider, I can choose provider and the patient. And if I want to add any notes, I can add the notes and update. So now the status would have changed from pending to sample collection pending. Now again, if I go and click on this, I can mark it as sample collected. So once the provider has collected the sample from the patient, we can mark that as a sample collected. So I can mark this as sample collected. Now the status has changed from sample collection pending to sample collected. Again, if I go and click on this actions button, I can generate the invoice or add the results. Since I have collected the sample, I would have done the test. So let us imagine that I'm the lab technician and I would have done the test and I got the result. Now I want to upload that result into DocEngage. So I can write the result manually, or if I have the results as a file or a document, I can upload that file also from here. So I can choose the file and upload. If I want to add the result manually, then I'll choose the add result. From here, I need to select the whatever the components from minimum range and maximum range. While adding this particular component, I have given minimum range and maximum range, if you remember that. If we have not given the minimum range and maximum range while adding the component, then this range will not be showing. And whatever the actual value that I have got doing this uh, test, that I will be uploading. So if I say 50, then automatically it will show that it is high. So if I enter less, then it will show as a value that it is less. So if I enter in something between this minimum and maximum range, like 30, it is showing that it is normal. So I'll enter 50. And if I want to add any notes, I can add notes also. And for the next component, it is showing here only, where I can add my complete components results here itself. So for the red blood cells count, I can add the count. So if I want to add count like 3.0, then it is showing it is low. So if I want to add any value for this, let us say 5, it is saying normal for a monocytes. So same way I can add complete results here. Let us it say that it is 3000. And for this one, this component I'll give. So this way I can add and click on save. So next one is like, if I want to add for this, I can add same minimum range 0.5 and 7. Now I have added the result to this particular order which we have placed. If I save, it would have been saved, and wait, it is asking for waiting for review. Since I have, while doing the configuration, I told whenever the result is added, they should it should send a notification uh, for it should send a notification for the provider to review. So that is the reason why it is showing that waiting for review. The status is showing. So uh, once the review has been done from the provider, then we can share this or edit result. If I want to edit, I can edit also. Email order details, I can, if I want to email, I can email the details also. So it will automatically send to the provider. And if I want to generate invoice, I can generate the invoice. And for this particular service, this is the for this particular test CBC, it is 1090 rupees, and for this other two components which I have added, it is showing, and the total price is it is showing. I can receive the payments also directly from here and save. So now the status has changed from the uh, waiting for review to stay invoiced. So next, if I want to edit the invoice, I can edit the invoice upload file also, and if I want to print, I can print where it will be showing the print details. Complete lab result details will be showing here. So if I want to share lab order, I can share lab order also. Show the audit logs. I can see the audit log also as well. Now I have showed you how to place the lab orders and update the result into this lab order. So let me show you the lab results. So here we can see the lab result. Whenever a result is added in the lab from this, if physician is added a result from here, then the result will show in the lab result section, where I can see the name and the patient ID, doctor, and complete detail in the list form, list page. So I can edit the result if I want. Again, I can upload the file, and if I want to send the result to doctor, I can send the result to doctor. And if I want to send the patient, I can send to patient, and the print also. And I can print the complete results and send it to the patients. So this print page is not showing here. If when you click on this print, you can see the print result form, where you'll see the complete list of test, whatever the test the doctor has prescribed, and the result that has been added. So you can see the print results. And the configuration I have already showed you. And if I have downloaded any data, it will show in this my download sections. So I have download button here. If I download, it will show in the my downloads. So I hope you all understood how to add the lab components and lab tests, and how to place the orders, lab orders, and upload the results. Thank you.